So today we're discussing some visit that we had at Riverside Cemetery in Albion, Michigan. We went there a few times to investigate, and it's very interesting. More experiences personally than we've caught. But we'd also like to take the time to introduce to everyone someone that you will be seeing in clips and investigations quite a bit. Um, so we do have a investigator with us, Austin. He goes with us anytime we go anywhere. You'll be seeing him and hearing him and his girlfriend Angela. They do help us out a lot with the investigations because we do only have two hands and a lot of equipment. So Jesse and I both had independent experiences at the cemetery around the same time, and they were both very similar. What I experienced was footprints with leaves depressing in the ground with no feet in the footprints. And Austin had very similar experiences, so we decided that this was going to be one of our first places that we investigated both with and without equipment. Austin, do you want to tell a little bit about your experience?
Well, we've been in this cemetery a couple times before, just kind of hanging out or going through. And again, similar experience. We've had footsteps. Sounds like something running up behind us. Real cold spots where there just shouldn't be. This particular night, when we went in, it felt like something gut checked me and just got an instant wall that just said, you don't belong here tonight. It was very uneasy feeling, very fast paced. It wasn't something that was a gradual, it was very sudden.
Jolene and I didn't feel it at first until we kind of got past that visitor threshold when you were actually in.
It was like up over the hill.
And just to give our viewers an idea, this is not a small like roadside cemetery. It is a very old, very large cemetery that sits across the street from the Kalamazoo River. Hence the name Riverside. We were not very far in to the cemetery, but we were over that but that night we did get quite a bit that we did not get on film. Like, we are having a technical issue with being able to record the temperature drops that we're experiencing when we're in there. That night there was, I do believe it was a 20-degree temperature drop, and less than 3 inches from that temperature drop, it was nice and warm and like 70 degrees. But just in that one area, we came up over the hill. I started walking. I'm kind of notorious for taking off by myself. I started walking deeper into the cemetery, and it looked like there was something darker in front of us, like bent over, like something crouched down and hiding its head. And when I started to tell you guys that something just didn't look right over there, at that moment, something, whatever it was, raised its head, and it just looked like a white face and came flying at me. And at that point is when I turned around and said, nope, I'm ready to go. And the entire time we were leaving the cemetery, in the clip, you can hear me say, let go of my arm. You're not invited. You can't come with me. It was almost like I was being led out of the cemetery, and then we get Jolene's reaction of feeling somebody walking behind her. And if you've seen that clip, she's genuinely scared because she turned around and there was nobody there.
I have a horrible feeling. We need Which way are we going? Doesn't matter. Yeah, we need to go. Is this where we're going? You do not have permission to follow. You must stay in the cemetery. Stop touching me. You do not have permission to follow me.
Oh my God.
Stay. Let's go.
I thought that was Jesse.
Now do you see why I said it's time to go? I think you just seen what I did.
Yeah, that scared the fuck out of me.
Yeah, that was the same side that I was feeling a cold hand almost lead me out of the cemetery. So there's something there that can, most definitely controls whether or not you're allowed and when you're allowed.
And clearly you were not allowed at nighttime.
Yeah, because you believed that I was behind you, Jolene, and when you
Yeah, I
turned,
really thought-
realized I was
Yeah.
on a completely opposite side of you. Excuse me.
Yep.
That kind of validated that.
I heard footsteps and it felt like there was somebody right there.
Now, the last time that we went to Riverside, or we went off in that little path that we found, that I swear I've never seen in the almost 20 years that I've been around Albion, never knew that path was there. Never seen it, and I've been in that cemetery a lot. But you and I both seen something similar, and I seen it step out of the woods.
Yeah.
So I do think that we're in the wrong spot. That it may not necessarily be in the cemetery of what we're looking for. That it may be in the wooded part, but we got to get Jolene. We got to get Jolene out of her scary spot with the woods. But, and I do think that there is something over in that one area. We do have a video where me and Angela are seeing something that looks like a tombstone moving, but you and Jolene can't see it or don't see it. And in one of the videos, it almost looks like it's what her and I were seeing, but then again, then the camera, we move the camera, and of course we lose the shot. But there's definitely something going on in that cemetery. Riverside Cemetery is on the most haunted of Michigan list. I would recommend, if anybody wants to investigate, that you make a stop down to the city police department and tell them what you're doing, because they do patrol it. They do adhere to the trespassing laws. You were supposed to be out of there at dusk. So kind of ghost hunting and posting videos is stupid because we're admitting to trespassing, but
Right?
we are very respectful and do not overstay our welcome, obviously.
Yeah, that trip was 15 minutes, I think, total.
And it was our first night with equipment, so it was kind of disappointing that we got chased out. But that is the second time in that cemetery something white has flew at my face.
It's the second time that wall, and generally it's centered kind of right around that hill area.
I just get a whole fucking vibe from that place. When we drove past it today, looking at it, I was just like, ooh. It just gives me the heebie-jeebies.
See, the thing about Riverside Cemetery, though, and something that I think may keep that cemetery energized, is when I first moved there, it was in the summertime, it was getting close to the 4th of July. And so I asked one of the ladies at the grocery store, where do you watch the fireworks from here? She goes, oh, honey, you just go to the cemetery. And I literally looked at this 65-year-old woman and said, what the fuck? What do you mean the cemetery? Did you forget your meds, lady? And she's like, no, the whole town goes there. Everybody sits in there. We watch fireworks. It's a great time. Went there, and sure as shit, the entire town is there. We are not alone. We are all sitting there in the cemetery watching fireworks. So that intrigued the shit out of me. I went home and researched it, and apparently, in the early 1900s, that was the thing, that the town would hold celebrations in the cemetery and, celebrate with your whole family, not just the ones that are alive. And evidently, Albion has kept that tradition, because we still, to this day, They sell concessions in the cemetery. I mean, you can buy your elephant ears, your cotton candy, some drinks. Whole town sitting in the cemetery watching the fireworks.
That's wild.
And then you have the river that pretty much not only runs in front of it, but beside it. And, you know, everybody knows waterways. Usually waterways have increased paranormal activity. But I think that the fact that the town is still so active in the cemetery helps keep it energized and keeps whatever's in there going.
Yeah, not only that, but you know, people use it as almost like a park.
Right.
You'll see people in there constantly, either going for a jog or walking their dog or what have you. Plus, there is a park that is just right up the road from it, so the surrounding area is very active. For being as old as it is and as big as it is.
And it is I mean, there's mausoleums in there that are beautiful. Like, you actually stop and just admire the building. But yeah, I do believe that it is the town of Albion that does energize it, though. But I do believe that the White Lady is bullshit. As many not only is she may just not come when she's called, which I feel that, but the natural features that are around that cemetery, there is a natural gas pipeline right next to it. So before that got capped off, there would have to have been natural gas leaking into the air. Then you have the river, so you also have a cold mist that you do see, you know, in the cemetery. That's just water vapor coming off of the river. You mix that with euphoria of natural gas leak, and there's your White Lady.
Yeah, not only that, but you know, it's so close to a really busy road. Lights that come off of the road, you know, you'll see reflections of stuff, and you take a couple of glances at it, but you know, pretty soon you realize, hey, it's lights. You know, it's not anything else.
All the lights on the stones and stuff too, like they have a bunch of glow shit on them.
They're like the eternity lights and things like that are on people's graves. It is a fairly well-maintained cemetery. I mean, the city of Albion and whoever maintains it does do a good job. But like I said, if you do want to go and investigate this cemetery, please stop at the state or the city police. Albion police are very nice and do live up to their public safety name, but they do enforce the trespassing. So, you know, stop by, let them know what you're doing, get permission before you do. I would highly recommend it. Anything else you guys want to add?
At this time.